status of where we have reached in the new regulatory framework. So one is that since the choice of the customers were to be collected by up to 1st of February. So we had shared with you as to how many customers have onboarded on the MSO, that is the cable TV framework, and how many customers have loaded on the DTH. We also explained to you that on the DTH platform, because there are contracts which may be long term or short term, so therefore whenever these contracts expire, what do you want? You want me to conclude? Oh. Look there. Yes, whenever we want to, whenever the contracts expire, at that point in time, one can onboard a customer. So it does not have to be everybody onboards on 1st of February. So that's the change and difference between the cable system and the DTH system. DTH system is also prepaid system, which means that till my balance is there, we will continue to watch the channel, and we have the option whether to go into a new framework or whether to continue with the old framework. We have been reviewing this progress of this with the DPOs, and as late as day before yesterday, I think we had a meeting with all the platform operators, and the progress seems to be satisfactory. There are certain concerns which had come to our notice, and we have appropriately directed these platform operators to take care of these concerns. One is that some people had complained that on various platforms, the platforms were not offering the freedom of choice to the consumer insofar as the first initial 100 channels were concerned. We have directed that every platform operator will ensure, because consumer has the final choice. It is ultimately the whole framework. The consumer is at the center of the universe. It is he or she who shall exercise the choice and freedom to choose what she or he wants to watch. And therefore, in any way, interfering with that freedom will be a violation of our regulatory framework. So we have clearly directed that whether it is within those 100 channels or beyond those 100 channels, the customer is free to choose whether he or she wants to choose the free-to-air or the paid channel. So that's number one. Number two, we also noticed that because of the heavy load on the system, people were exercising their choices. Some of the websites of the, some of the operators went down, and that actually caused inconvenience to the consumers. We have told these platform operators that you please ensure that your websites are scaled up to tackle those loads, number one. Number two, because the websites were down, no consumer must suffer, which means that if there is a delay because of this reason, it should not result in inconvenience to the consumers. So that's another issue. Another minor issue was also the issue of, this two connections, more than one connection. Some consumers complained that if I had more than one connection, then I was getting the other connection, free or much less price. Another issue which was raised in multiple connection was that each set was actually having the same channel. So if you select, let's say, some number of channels on television 1 in your house, that same selection applies to television 2 in that house. It may not be appropriate because the television 2 may be watched by, some members of the family who have different preferences and then the television 1. And therefore, we said that please, change the architecture of your system so as to ensure, this different selection of the channels for TV connection wise. Because you see, earlier it was just everything was being pushed. Today it's not a push model. Today it's a pull model. You can watch what you want to watch, and therefore each TV set must be treated as a connection which should essentially be providing that choice. So that's another part. I think I have not anything else. Broadly, let me just, which is essentially the prices. There was some report, and which was widely circulated in the media, which says that the prices for the most of the consumers will go up. So first, let me begin by saying that whether prices will go up or go down is not really one of the overarching objectives of the new regulation. The new regulation essentially focuses on consumer choice, transparency in the sector, non-discrimination in the sector. That is what is the overarching objectives of the whole new regulatory framework. Now, this actually means this will have a number of consequences. One consequence is that earlier you were forcing the customer with 200 channels or 300 channels. Today, you cannot do that. And that means that now customer has a choice. So it's like saying that earlier you were giving a thali, which had 20 sabjis, and you were probably watching, eating one or two of them or three of them, and the rest was going just like that, and you were being charged for it. Today, that's not the case. So therefore, what is important is this particular freedom which has been given, which the customer is going to exercise. And maybe today the customer may not be, realizing that this freedom entails a number of, things. It is not as if he had chosen some channels today. He cannot change them tomorrow. It's a monthly billing cycle. Therefore, the customer, even if she has made a choice of channels which she did not watch for the whole month, maybe next month she will decide that I will not take that channel. So this is a continuous affair. It's not a one-time choice which you made and your bills went up or went down. So that's something which has to be realized. Secondly, this whole, we appreciate, the CRISIL has given this report, and we appreciate the professionalism, and we know that they are a highly professional body. But I think in this particular case, their analysis is not based on correct inputs and assumptions. That's the problem. And I think, maybe you can explain it. The whole issue is that they have taken as an input the top 10 channels. And if I may just, maybe Sunil will explain it much better, but let me also attempt. That the inputs which they have taken and they have computed the value of those channels, actually they include Tamil, Hindi, and Telugu, and Bangla. Now, of course, we have a lot of polyglots in this country. A lot of people can watch, speak many languages. But I think this is not a typical customer. It is a consumer who is certainly a very rare consumer who will watch Tamil, Telugu, Bangla, and Hindi channels at the same time. These are the channels which have been given in this report. Another interesting part is that the top 10 channels include a couple of channels which are actually the same channels. The same content is being shown in these channels, and I don't want to name the channels, probably we'll share this list. One broadcaster, two channels, and essentially they are the same content is being shown, one, after some time, a time gap and all that. So I don't think anybody will subscribe to both these channels. Similarly, there are other channels, Sunil can explain, which essentially has the same content. So essentially, if you begin with the wrong assumptions or unrealistic assumptions, you are bound to get the results. It's garbage in, garbage out. So if you put in something wrong in the analysis and the part, and the result outcome is also not going to be correct. So that's one part. In fact, our belief is that, and this I've been, believing from the Aadhaar days. People had this enrollment software, and people will come and say, oh, this software has got this bar, this software has got this bar, and all kinds of things. We were saying, no, we will not go on anecdotes. We will go on data. Because there can't be, the data is the final truth. Anecdotes and the assumptions and it will go up, it will go down, it's actually just an assumptions based on certain conclusions, based on certain assumptions. So we now actually, after seeing this report, we requested some of the operators to collect and collate the data and provide the data to us as to how this whole pricing part is actually playing out. We realize that because most of the operators are busy maintaining their systems and keeping their systems up, and so they set up हमारे लिए ये पॉसिबल नहीं होगा कि हम इसमें से सब डेटा निकाल के आपको एनालिटिक्स दे सके. Still, two operators have given that analysis to us. One of the analysis is based on 1.5 million data points, and it's based on not only data points of one particular area, it is based on dash 1, dash 2, dash 3 and dash 4. In all areas, this analysis is based, and though they had given us saying that it is highly confidential, I think Sunil has got their permission to kind of share this with you, and I want to share this with you. This is from which operator? This is from the IMCL, and this is based on a data of 1.5 million choices which have been made so far. And in dash 1, the consumer, in Mumbai, the average pre-due tariff order was 325 rupees ARPU, which is basically a consumer was on an average paying 325 rupees in Mumbai. Now, post ARPU, those people who have selected this, their consumer price is 271 rupees. So 325 to 271. In Delhi, it was 303 ARPU, it is now 265. Similarly, in dash 2, dash 3 and dash 4 areas, there have been a reduction of 10 to 15% on an average. Of course, somewhere more, somewhere less. So this is data, and what we intend to do is we will be publishing this data regularly on our website as to what are the pre and post ARPU figures, of course taken from the operators. We don't own that data, but